Joining us now, the former governor from the great state of Texas, former energy secretary in the first Trump term, Rick Perry. Mr. Secretary, always good to see you. Welcome back, sir.
It's good to be with you, Ed.
You know, John Fetterman says the far left is leading a communist takeover of his own Democrat Party. And here you go, Gavin Newsom trying to block the Trump administration from restarting these two California onshore oil pipelines at a time when gas prices have been so high. The Oil and Gas Association clapping back and says, Gavin's the guy who thinks it's perfectly fine to import 250,000 barrels of Iraqi oil into California every damn day, in their words. I guess we should not be surprised that Newsom is not America first when even Fetterman says there's a communist takeover right now.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating thing to watch what Gavin Newsom is doing to his people. I mean, this, if you're sending a message across the country that we're green and we're going to stick with it, you're doing it at the expense of the citizens of California. So I've got to think, look, he can't run for re-election. We get that, but he's thinking about something else. And what he is doing is driving a dagger through his own heart, and it's going through him and hitting the people of California, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've seen it in a lot of blue states, blue cities. On the communist takeover part, I mean, you've got Mamdani, who becomes the mayor in New York City on a platform of free buses and frozen rent and all the rest. He hasn't delivered on it, just wants to raise taxes. Now you got this governor in Virginia, Spanberger, who's talking about raising taxes not just on gas-powered lawnmowers and dry cleaning, but now she wants to go after gym club memberships and streaming services. I mean, they just want to tax everything.
Yeah, well, that's socialism. That's communism. That's what they do. Is they take the money away from the citizens and then go fritter it away and spend it on their favorite programs and government. So people will catch on to that pretty quick. I mean, there may be 25% of the people in the country that think that will work, but the classic old statement of socialism, communism, all of that works really well until you run out of spending other people's money. Yeah. At that particular point in time, it fails, and it fails miserably.
No doubt about it. Now, the president is trying, as we turn the lens to the international situation with oil and gas and everything else, the Strait of Hormuz, the battle's been intensifying. Both the U.S. and Iran today claiming control of the waterway. The president insisted it's all going to work out in our favor. Watch.
Well, it will, because so people don't realize some of these tankers hold 2 million barrels. One of them holds 4. I think it's the largest one in the world. That sucker is big. I've never seen anything like it. A ship it's bigger than aircraft carriers. But what's happening is people are learning to buy oil from the United States. I mean, they're making the trip, and they have safer. Probably it's a better product too, by the way. But they're learning to buy. They're changing their habits.
So last time you were here, you believed we were getting closer to control of the strait, maybe ending this war, but here we are. It's still been dragging on. Do you believe what the president's saying about that? We know that he's right, that U.S. oil production has sharply increased. We've talked about that since the start of this war. But are those, once those tankers are freed in the strait, are we going to see these prices come down this summer as promised?
Yeah, I think you will at some point in time. But I think here's what's more important. It's really frustrating for me to see these people who criticize American policies when we're really doing what I call the Lord's work, getting rid of these terrorist regime in Iran. We knew this was going to be a difficult task. We also knew that there would be people like the New York Times and those on the left, just like that reporter. I would hate to have seen those individuals around on the 6th or 7th of June in 1944, when American troops were invading to stop the Nazi term on the continent at that particular point in time. And they would have been standing there, criticizing Americans, criticizing American soldiers. That, I think the term treason, as the president has said, is maybe an appropriate term at that particular point in time.